Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Spiritual Ranch. I'm Chef Not Note Away, the Off Grid Oracle. Welcome to our channel and welcome to our side of the mountain. And actually, I was going to show you guys. You can kind of see, up there on the ridge, there's still snow. Right up there, that's the snow line. And if you keep going over this way, right here, that way, it turns into the mountain. That's where the mountain is. I showed that one time. And so there's still a little bit of snow up there. It's almost made it to the top here. Cruising. Almost got through this section. And then I got some more brush, I guess, to work on over here. But that's good. Got to fund the operation, I guess. one way or another. we don't have a whole lot of that support like that, you know. But we got a lot of you guys support now. There's plenty of love out here on the Spiritual Ranch, you know, and that's far more valuable than coin is. Coin is, right? And so I'll set these up here. All right. Anyways, it's afternoon. Been just absolutely gorgeous. A perfect afternoon out here. You know, even for January, it's like, damn. There's been probably, I think they're calling for 73. It feels like 73 degrees. That's perfect. I mean, really, that's perfect. Honestly, thank you, God, right? And so, anyways, here we are. I'm gonna do a read now. I'm gonna try to check the. I'm gonna ask Spirit what Spirit wants us to know, you know. And so maybe what I'll try to do on my routine here is I'll do these little shorter reads, and I could do I could ask what their spirit team wants to tell our spirit team in the mornings, and then I could ask do us versus them in the afternoon, but then I could do just an us read and really just read it specifically for the energies that Spirit wants for us to be working with right now in the energy that we're in, you know. And so try to do it without getting caught on fire. Almost burned up on that last one. Almost got me, right? If you watched it, you should go back and watch it with the short ones. I'm putting them out there. Try to do a bit serious now. I'm just gonna, you know, I'll probably just do like one. I'll do just one thumbnail, and then for the day, and I think I'll put a timestamp on it just because for fun, just for shits and giggles, and maybe even just for my own use, you know, to look back on, right, and go back. Because in a lot of ways, like, it's a useful tool that I have for the collective, for us all to get a good, useful message from, you know. But it's also a very powerful form for me to journal, and to, you know, too, because it's the spiritual energies. Like an old farmer, you know, like a really good, experienced old farmer is going to write down every day. They're going to write down the weather patterns, you know, every day. They're going to do that. They're going to get up in the morning, they're going to write down if it froze, and then they're going to, like, throughout the day, they're going to take little notes, whatever, and then they're going to kind of record if they got any rain, and they're going to keep track of that, and then they'll know every year they got something to look back on that informs them and makes them better at their craft of farming. And so spiritually, it's no different, you know. That's truth. This last year, I don't know if a lot of those reads I ever want to listen to again. They're getting a little smoother with the message, you know, but that's because I've also processed a lot of the energies that I need to process, and it's getting I'm getting better at my craft, which, exactly like with being a farmer, I guess, you know, if you record those weather patterns and stuff, then you know how to move if you encounter them again, right? That's cool. So that's something that Spirit wants you to know too. Maybe Spirit's encouraging you to journal, you know. Maybe that's something that'd be really healthy for you to process whatever it is that you need to process, or just to kind of work through your own thoughts the same way that I do here on this channel, you know, because that's what a lot of like, I'm learning how to attach my thoughts, you know, to my feelings, and then to the emotion, to the general emotion that the collective is feeling, because of how we're energetically affected by the planets, by the universe, by the cosmos, and the forces that are around us, by each other, right? Earth, fire, water, and air, baby. It's all the same thing. It just forms in different ways. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to be fully aware of as we navigate out here and learn how to be better human beings, because that's what we're trying to be, learn to be right now, because the human being is that biological organism that contains all of the wisdom of the entire universe, and the entire kingdom of heaven, because it lies within, yourself, inside that magical orb that you're walking around in. That's just a big water bubble, basically. It's just a water balloon, right? You know, for your spirit to coexist in, And so it's like, yeah, you have flesh that holds the electrolyte in place. You got to have some muscle mass and everything, a little tissue, right? And some bones in there to hold it up. But overall, that's all that is, It's just a big battery. It's just a big ass battery designed so that you're ethereal. It's the ethereal stew that you swim in spiritually. That's what spirit wants you to know. So it's like you are right here, this biome. This is the entire universe to you, you know. Everything outside of this doesn't exist in the reals. In the reals of reals, So it's like anything you could touch isn't really real. What's really real is inside of you that you can't put your hands on. That's what's really real, And until we understand that, the world's going to be a complicated place, and people are going to always be warring and fighting and battling over the things that they can acquire in the physical. Drugs, sex, alcohol, doesn't matter. Gold, guns, wealth, power, all of those things, because they don't exist within us, They don't. They only exist outside of us, And they're the things that we can grab a hold of. We need to be focused now on the things that we can't, because those are the things that will guide us, guide and direct us to ensure that the physical remains intact in a natural state that can still keep everything in equilibrium, so that we can experience this wonderful experience of being a living organism, being a human being, And so congratulations. I do hope that I am speaking to human beings, because yeah, fucking lizards are cold-blooded, yeah, and they're not fun to cuddle with. They're not fun to cuddle with, and I don't want to lay around on a fucking rock with them all day until they warm up to me. So they'll probably eat me. I don't know. That's what the OGO says to you. And so, congratulations, you're a human being. Okay, let's all start acting more like a human being, and then we're gonna see a more humanitarian world around us. It's like when we understand what that means to be like a human being. Not just a human, but like a human being. It's like a divine being. It's the two-legged, right? We learned how to walk upright. Our gift was a thumb, right? That was our reward. We got a thumb. They gave us a thumb. Fuck, that was a mistake. The world card's Bob Deck. And so again, what Spirit is really trying to tell us, the collective, what they're trying to really tell you, us, the listener, you, right now, is that we have a lot to offer. Spirit wants you to know, right? And I say we and I and all that because it's me too. Spirit wants me to know it as well. But I'm going to say you need to know that with this Knight of Cups and the World card on the bottom of the deck, that's saying very clearly that you have a lot to offer to the world, that you do. And so, like all of us, with the World card especially too, the World card, this individual in the World card has been in a period of isolation. So you have been isolated. And this message generally is resonating kind of, there goes one of my logs, is resonating in the collective a lot right now, because of course, like a lot of us are isolated. Okay, so but in that time of isolation, especially those of us who've been in extreme isolation, some of us are really, we're really tired of the lack of loving communication. Okay, so spirit is telling you that continue to do so. Okay, because that's not like, you're not thinking small. you're not thinking small with your Knight of Cups, that you're trying to, you want to offer your cup to people because you're a lover, you're a big lover. And it's like you separated love from like the physical, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like you've had enough time to sit there and think about like, hey, wait a minute, it's like all these distractions out here have been really like causing, it's like in this Knight of Wands energy, before you went into that wreath, you felt that like every time you're offering your cup out there, it's like in this Knight of Cups energy, that like somebody was taking a drink off of it and not really putting anything back in there. And it's like, and you kind of want to offer it to everybody because you're like, I'm a free lover. And that don't mean like, oh, I just sleep with everybody. It just means like, I'm a free lover. Like, I want to really put my loving energy into people when I meet them. So it's like on the very first time that we meet, which is Knight of Pentacles, that's like a new acquaintance, or it's like a new meeting of them. You're kind of like, hey, want to try what this is my cup, right? Like lovingly, kind of like. So it's not like you go kiss them. It's like you're just like, what can I do for you? Basically, you're like, hey, if I treat this person the same way they treat me, then that means that we're going to both have 2 cups here to party with, and we're going to have a great fucking party. That's awesome. And so we've been a little bit set back by the fact that like it doesn't work that way in this world. The world doesn't operate under the standard of the golden rule. And so that made us feel, well, it made us feel like we had to try harder. And so then we felt like we had to try harder. It's like we weren't trying hard enough. And then you're letting a couple motherfuckers drink out of your cup. And of course, it's just getting emptier and emptier and emptier, and you ain't getting fucking nowhere. So God said, I'm going to put a hold on that one. That's my chosen one. That's what they're telling you. They're like, nah, man, nobody drinking out of your fucking cup no more. We're going to protect you from that. And all the elements out there right now, because like you need to go inside, child, and figure out how your cup always is overflowing, because what you hold in your hand there is that Ace of Cups that God gives you, and they don't give you that cup just to share with everybody. But in that time that they've had you behind that wreath, you've really learned that you've had to now turn and offer that cup to yourself. So, like, you started to drink out of that cup because you've never really drank out of your cup before. And so it's like you didn't even know, because it was hard for you to love yourself. Like the Knight of Pentacles is still looking for the reasons why they're lovable, right? Because they don't really see that yet. And so they may not have been loved as they should have been when they were a child, or whatever the hell that it was. They still just ain't grown up all the way enough to see themselves in that light that allows them to start to work their way through. Because it's like the emotional damage that this Knight of Pentacles was suffering kept this Knight of Pentacles in a position where they couldn't really work their way through the other elements and get to that Knight of Pentacles energy. Whereas a Knight of Pentacles, then they can move on and become the King and Queen of Pentacles, and then the Emperor and the Empress, because that's what we're trying to do. But this individual, or you, right? You, who I'm talking to, whoever I'm talking to, you have been stuck in your waters a little bit. And so there's some emotional damage that's your spirit team, that our spirit team, that the spirit team is telling us that you've been asked to work on. Okay. And so that's why, like, at this period of time when you've been in isolation, they've been kind of asking you to calm your seas a little bit, to figure out your emotions, because you weren't working with all 4 elements with a good solid understanding. And so that caused problems and issues. And so it's like you can't get your fire going, so you had to blow too much air on it, and then like then you got it going too hard, it burned up your earth, and it's just like over and over and over again. It's like these cycles because of that trauma that you did suffer when you were younger, and for whatever reason didn't really learn to love yourself. And so Father's saying to you, and Spirit Team is saying to you, that love yourself. That's what your Spirit Team says to you right here. Boom, full on. And you know how to do that. And so like when you do take that first step of loving yourself, you receive that Ace of Cups from Father God, and then you know how to start working with your water. Okay, and I'll give you all 4 tools at your disposal. And then that's a magician. When you have all 4 of them elements at your disposal, you become a magician. And then when you're a magician, you have all the powers that you need to manifest into your life the things that you desire, or the things that are going to suit you the best purpose. It's like you know how to do magic, But you know how to do magic from a place that's of balance, you know, you have all four elements, right? And then you have the other two elements of lightness and dark, which are of spirit, right? Because the spirit is of two elements, it's of light and dark, you know. And that's your kitchen. Those are your ingredients. So father uses, mother uses. Oh, such a beautiful day today. So beautiful. So beautiful. Almost had me want to go swimming, but man, that water, woo, be cold coming off that snow up there. It wouldn't be a very long swim, you know. It wouldn't be. Six walls on the bottom of the deck. Well, we keep shuffling, man, because that one, and then we did that Knight of Pentacles. So it's like, yeah, bam, 6 of Wands with Knight of Pentacles, right? And so the 6 of Wands with Knight of Pentacles is granted passage here, you know. And so like, yeah, this Knight of Cups right here. So our Knight of Cups energy, like we're moving along now, you know. And so it's like we're gaining better ability to manage our emotions and to handle our water, and that's going to allow us to put ourselves out there, you know, to the world, okay? Because we've been in kind of tuning session, you know. It's like they've been tuning us up real good, because we're getting ready to be presented, you know. And so when we are presented, we can't be vulnerable, you know. And so it's like we can't be love bombed, we can't be love bombing, we can't be easily just tricked back into that place where we didn't trust our emotions enough, that we had to have another in order to feel that we had anything emotionally at all. So in order to identify as having water, you know, that we always had to identify that feeling with another. We need to have that water within ourselves, and then that way we can move confidently and treat everybody the same way that we want to be treated ourselves, with a sense of neutrality, or just of a sense of real honest integrity, okay? Especially emotionally speaking. That's good. And so no more childish behavior in order to get that safe passage granted, bam, because then that Knight steps into their Knight of Pentacles energy, which is grounding, you know, and grounding their stability. And so like the Knight of Pentacles is trying to ground their stability, but and are getting that passage now, because Spirit's saying, okay, this one's growing up, you know. That's good. That's really good, you know. And so because like obviously this one right here, definitely it's you are definitely healing childhood trauma right here. Is definitely because immediately after you receive that Knight, so like you're in a Knight of Cups here energy, right? And so that means that you've just gone through something that's really helped you, and that's this healing period right here. It's really helped you heal those things that you were carrying from your childhood, which is like the Page of Cups energy, right? And so you've already made progress in a direction here, and I'm going to say it's like over this last year period, and that's why it's like you're now becoming unveiled, because it's like you healed that Page energy and got that Knight of Cups energy, but it hasn't taken long now, because you got this Six of Wands, for you to go ahead and move into that Knight of Pentacles energy, right? Which is the last Knight energy that we have to heal before we start moving into our King cards, into your King cards, you know. And so that's good, you know. And so that means that you're healing a lot in this period of time with the wreath. And so you're well on your journey, you know. And maybe we don't even know, because you could very quickly, you know, it depends on what the tarot says, but you could receive the cards that show growth, and the houses. The Ten of Pentacles keeps trying to pop out of the bottom of the deck, you know, and it has. It continues to do so. And we got Death here also, which is simply just transition, right? And so that's a growth period, and that's a transition. That's an unveiling too, you know. Like I said, that wreath is going to come down. Like God has been preparing you, because the world is going to need you, and now we have the Knight of Wands energy, you know. And so with that Knight of Wands energy, that's talking about well, with the Hermit there too, and the Sun card. And so yeah, that's talking about, that's the unveiling, okay? And so it's like you're really getting unveiled because you got to have all of your night energies, which you're at that point now of having all of those night energies. And then with that sun card, and safe passage is telling me that you get a congratulations, So there's been some growth here, basically, And I think that's for a lot of us, It's like not everybody's in there, manage all their houses and everything, to that point where they're kings and queens and emperors and empresses, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, but this is all of these are good. They're in the upright, and the sun is here too. And so this is a younger energy that we're reading on here for sure. And but there's it's a joyful energy too, which is good. You have a lot of joy, and you should, because with these energies, like with the Knight of Pentacles in the upright position, with the Knight of Cups in the upright position, with all of that healing taking place, and the guidance too, because you're receiving guidance from the Most High with that Six of Wands. And so you're allowing God to lead, guide, and direct you, and they're definitely bringing you into the light. You probably hang out with yourself a lot, This is an energy of somebody who probably hangs out with themselves a lot, with that Hermit card energy right there. And so um, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, But like there is that energy here of being willing to unveil yourself a little bit here and let yourself out into the world just a little bit, because the world is and don't fear, like right now. I think a lot of us are also in that energy that we're going to be judged if we kind of stand out, because we're coming into a time where everybody's becoming very homogenized. And so it's like, whoa, like people don't really make themselves seen much nowadays. It's kind of like everybody wants to be a little bit unseen, but you should make yourself seen, is what Spirit's saying, and don't be afraid of that. Like, don't, stand up. Like it's kind of like, it's the time right now when the leaders are always kind of a little bit goofy. I mean, it's what it is. Always. I mean, we're the ones that stand out, and so we're not afraid of judgment. And so don't feel judged by, well, with that Hermit card, and it's like, don't feel judged. Like I said, this is a young energy. Okay, so don't feel judged, because you want to speak on the matters of the fact that how God has been working in your life. And that's gonna bring you a lot of joy. Bam! That's a good one, man. I don't know. We don't know whose energy this is. It's your energy. It's your energy. This ain't my energy. I'm not 3 nights, okay? This is kind of nice. I'm on a little break, Somebody just popped in. They said hi. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? You got leadership skills. You want to learn? Cool. Fucking shit, man. Yeah, because, and also here, so we don't see that Knight of Air yet, so we don't have that Knight of Truth, and so you're still working on some things right now that you're crying over spilt milk, big time, and you're kind of acting the fool here in this Page of Wands energy, but you're trying to be hot, like you really are trying to be hot, and you're trying to learn how to be hot, but you're still there are some things that you have to let go, and you have to go back to the Most High One and listen to them. That's that energy right there at the Five of Cups, is that you're kind of looking at things that don't really serve you no more, and that's making you be kind of a brat, like obnoxious is the best term right there. Or it's like it's that you want to blame others kind of for the grief that you have, but that there's things that you have that could make you really, really happy, but you got to get over that shit right there, because it keeps getting in your way of the things that serve you, with this Page of Wands and the reverse. But see, you're coming out, because this is like I'm not gonna say it's past energy. It's past due kind of energy, because you're already a Knight of Wands. You know how to be hot, hot, hot. You're well on your way. Like you know how, where you want to be, and the way that you influence others about the things that you're passionate about. You don't want to be dour and bummer and like, oh fuck, everything sucks. You really know that you have a lot to be excited about. And so that you need to change that mindset. That's the kind of mindset that you just need to change a little bit. That's why Spirit has had you in a position where, in a lot of ways, this veil is around you from the world, and you're not really getting what you want from the world, because they're going to kind of hold you in that until you learn how to really go out there and manifest on your own, like that magician. Like that magician. But you're getting there. You're doing a good job, and so you're seeing it. You just got to keep seeing it. Okay. And so it's like basically, like with this energy here, there's things that you've hung on to that you got to let go of, all right, that are associated with the Knight of Wands in the reverse here. So there are things that you've been carrying since you were young, which could be like, it could be, like, who knows? Okay, so I had hands put on me when I was a kid, you know? So I'll use myself as an example. I had hands put on me when I was a kid, and I was told, shut up, right? Verbal abuse, lots of verbal abuse. And so I carried those cups for a long, long time. Even though they were tipped over, they never fucking served me, God was there with me the whole fucking time, absolutely. But that made me act a fool, because when you go through stuff like that, and you carry stuff like that, and you can't really talk to people about that because they don't understand like what it is. A lot of times it's just what it is. Like, you're told not to talk about it growing up, right? My old man, I mean, they said they spanked me. The schools didn't get too involved, but like, it was one of those. It's just like, you didn't talk about it, You didn't talk about it. Like, basically kept to yourself, and that develops those tendencies to kind of lash out at the world that's around us, until we let go of that Five of Cups energy right there. Until we let go of those three cups, we turn back around. We go, hey, fuck around, wait a minute, And oftentimes, the ones that when we turn back around, oftentimes what we encounter is we then find ourselves in God, and then they lead, guide, and direct us in the direction where we could heal that energy right there, which is the healing that that you are currently in the middle of. And so it's like that's good energy. I've had to go through that too. At times, it's easy to get drugged back into that same energy, that same vibe, where you feel, it's like you look back to the past here, and you're kind of like, oh fuck, man, I forgot about that. I didn't think about that. It kind of gets you a little bummed out, and that's natural. That's okay, as long as you don't act out in those circumstances. So it's like, we gotta be really strong, and that's why they're telling you at the very beginning of the read, with that Knight of Cups energy, is that you gotta really learn to love yourself, no matter what you've been through. And I'm not going to downplay anything, what anybody went through, but we all been through a lot. And it's like, whatever anybody does go through, if it's difficult, it could be the most difficult thing that they have ever gone through. But we don't know the difference of that, no matter what, how we measure our difficulties, And so, good job facing those things in the time that you've had. That when God's working on you, you gotta let them work on you. If you want to get anything from the world ever again, I love Daddy. And they got you in the sun energy, And so I think that with that sun card energy right there too, we don't have any of the stop resisting it. There's clarity, okay? You see the clarity. Stop fighting it. Let God do that work for you, and there's going to be a lot of good things delivered to you when we that is cups, And so it's like you're really gaining that ability now to love yourself, no matter what it is that you've been through, And so it's like, even though my daddy beat me, I know that I'm a good man, and I don't got to put my hands on nobody. I learned peace through that action, I learned self-love through that action, I learned how to forgive. And so where my old man was a little unforgiving, and he put his hands on me, right? Well, that taught me how it feels to have somebody be unforgiving and put their hands on you. And so I said no, because Father put me through that, so that I learned that lesson, and so that I don't perpetrate onto others that same thing that was perpetrated onto me, because that's imbalance. It's a golden rule, Right? It's not easy, and all of us have to go through whatever it is that we have to go through, to temper our blades, And so that's what that I think Queen of Pentacles with the Seven Pentacles. And that's the point that we're at in our journey right now, as becoming swords of the truth, And so that's the point that you're at in your journey right now. and you're doing a good job. That's what they want to tell you. Okay, they want to tell you that you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. It's not always easy, you know, and so it's like Knight of Pentacles energy doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it is easy. You know, it's like that's the kind of Knight of Pentacles. It's like you gotta work a little harder. And or Knight of Pentacles, Knight. All these energies are Knights. Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. Right. You still gotta work a little harder, you know, and then to get yourself to Ten of Pentacles. But it doesn't mean you can't get there. You know, and so it's because like the thing is like right after your Knight energy, you slide into that Queen energy. You know. And that shit could happen overnight. We can learn lessons overnight. We can change our mind overnight. God can show us something that just boom, you know, blast off, right? So cool. Ten of Pentacles, right? Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Damn. Keep going, kid. I don't know. I don't know. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. You know, you gotta see it to be it, and you can carry that load. All right. So, you're a foot soldier for God, man. Whoever you are, you're well on your way. Okay. Keep up that good work. Here's that air energies with the Justice card, you know, and so like you know, you're here. I think you know, and if you even look at this person here on the Justice card, it's kind of a younger looking person, you know, and so it's like a lot of this might be talking about too, just like the youthfulness in your spirit as well. And so it's like you could be an individual who has the authority to rule in the sense that you have the maturity and the wisdom, but yet you still remained very pure and young at your heart, you know? So either way, that's the kind of people that we want in our collective. So thank you for joining us. I'm Shesh, not known the way. That is she who whispers loudly with a sharpened tongue. I'm the Off-Grid Oracle, Yo, out here in Northern California. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you like the content of the video. And always, I got an email address too in my contact information. If you want to shoot me an email, you know, whatever. I like to chat. So, with everybody. Actually, I made some homies out here, you know. Like, yeah, what up, Luke? What up, Karen? Yeah, you guys, man. You guys, but True Blues. We got Donna. You know, Donna down in Australia. It's like it's pretty cool collective that we got building here. I really appreciate everybody for joining us, for hanging in there. You know, like you guys. I'm not trying to see anything, but those three, man, right there. You guys, my day ones are solid core, you know. And so I love you guys. Peace out.